Boy, I got to say, I'm sorry about that. I had a malfunction in my recording equipment. I think I'm gonna have to step up to a different type of device in order to do some of these cuts that I normally do. But getting back to those people that I communicate out there with, oh, let's see down there's Dowface, and she's not much on information, but she's an okay person if you just want to chit chat. Pink Baby Dow. Now, Pink Baby Dow, she's something else. I don't think she gives a lot about the things that she can help you with, although she has been in the industry for a while. There are a couple of more out there. Uh, there's a couple of them out there that are good to just waste time with. They're not very good on passing knowledge, and then there are some that are very good at passing knowledge. I would say take a little time for you newbies out there to maybe scan through, find somebody out there that you might be able to communicate with, pass a little knowledge, learn a little knowledge. It is always good to get as much knowledge as you can, especially before you join the industry. There is not a lot of what I would call real professional trainers out there that are really into training like we were back in the 70s and 80s. I think they call them steering wheel whippers now. They more or less put you behind the wheel and just point you in that direction, and that's not good because you don't really learn anything, and then there's not a real set format for learning. A lot of these companies need to take heed on that because without some sort of real strong format on training and, let's say, trainer attitude about training, a lot of the younger people will probably either end up hurt, deceased, in which I hate to even use that word because everybody should be able to go home to their families, and a job should not be a hazard. It should be a helpful thing in order to help one, move along in the industry and grow in the industry. I myself, I've got 20 years. I started back in the 70s, the mid late 70s. I trained for 6 of those years. Of course, I thought I was a excellent trainer when I got my first trainee and learned a lesson. Sometimes you're not as good as you think until something serious happens. And that's what woke me up is that we had something serious happen. I was fortunate enough to survive. But like I say, these companies don't take out the time to step back and revamp these trainers. There will be a lot of individuals who will end up either hurt or their families hurt because of the poor training, in which I'm noticing by listening to a lot of people's videos. Of course, winter is the most hazardous time to be out, and winter is probably the best time to get that knowledge about driving. Driving is a skill. It takes time and practice. It takes the passing of individuals' knowledge to know what is right and what is wrong when you're running up and down that highway. A person with a bad attitude is not a person that I would like to see in the industry because that could bring liability, damage, and possible death to other individuals. Um, that is a lot of equipment. And like my instructor told me a long time ago, that we are not trying to stick a lit piece of dynamite in a case. We would like somebody to get a little understanding on how dangerous the equipment is, an understanding on how to operate and maintain the equipment. You are left with thousands and thousands upon thousands of dollars, not only equipment, but also freight, as well as the most unpayable or the most damaging thing you can do is to hurt somebody out there. Losing a life is hard to regain, and most drivers fail to forget that when they become upset and enraged to get even when they should just learn to mellow their attitude out. The major thing is out there is to learn how to operate your equipment, arrive at a suitable time. I will not say a time that is should be always something that you should have to stress yourself for, especially in the winter uh, months, because sometimes the weather will not allow you to always make your appointment on a timely basis. Doesn't mean that you need to go flying down the highway at 80 miles an hour on a 4-inch thick highway, because that is something that is not going to happen. The weather is not going to allow it. I said that I was just going to pop in for a few moments and just kind of give a basic idea of the trucking industry and some of the faults and some of the good things about the industry. I am happy to see that there are a larger number of minorities and women that are driving out on the road today. Back in my time, we didn't have a lot of minorities, and they definitely didn't have a lot of women, and the women that were out on the road were generally married to the driver. And most of the time they were either ride-alongs or they ran teams. But it's good to see that a lot of women and a lot of minorities have come out to give the industry a try. I am glad to see that the industry is expanding to allow women. And also, I must give my hat off to the industry for upgrading the equipment, making the equipment more suitable for individuals to survive in and to get along in. I see there's automatics. Of course, you've had automatic trucks for a little while. They also have things that I hadn't had when my time was about: the CPU, the automatic trailer scales. They didn't have that. The airbag was not a very big specialty, and definitely the larger and much more comfortable cabs in which an individual passes his life in. Considering back in my time, we only had most companies ran cab overs, and generally when two drivers came to a stop and we didn't move along, one slept in the bunk and the other slept across the doghouse, which made for very uncomfortable sleeping. I'm going to tell you, I probably got bad hips from that ride in that doghouse, and I'm going to tell you, it sure doesn't do well for an old man my age to remember all those days of poor equipment. But today's equipment seems a lot more suitable. It seems like drivers have a lot better situation to communicate with family and friends at home. Back in our time, that telephone was a payphone. Was the only way you could communicate with dispatch and family and friends, and that could be a good, big, serious wrestle in the morning and in the evening. And I'm glad to see that the communication situation has gotten better. Even to the point where you can see an individual, and boy, I think that would have made my time a lot easier to get by back in the day. It's looking good. The industry is looking good. I understand the pay has increased a little better than my time, and that sounds good. Looks like a few drivers are starting to get home on a regular basis, considering back in my time, you generally ran 3 to 4 months, and that was an average running time. So, but like I say, I just popped in to say how it was to see how well the industry has grown. And hey, for you new people that are out there and getting into the industry, take time out before you do get in the industry. Stop and look around, listen to a few of the younger drivers that are out there posting videos for you guys. And maybe you can make a good choice. May I wish everybody happy and safe driving. Um, please take your time, check your mirrors, and be safe. Happy out there to you guys. And hopefully one day you can be like me, laying on your couch thinking about all those days when you just couldn't wait to get home. Happy. Have a good one, people.